technical problem. Good morning. Everybody.
Good morning, Bandana.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning from Lumini. Excuse me, here a little problem because Lumini is running. The Wi-Fi also cut off. No electricity, and so it's late. So before starting, we would like to invite you 1 minute silent. Pray. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for joining us. Hoping all of you okay. So please carry on, pray for happiness and peace prevail around the world. The topic today we talk about happiness and peace. Before we publish this title, some people ask me why, Guruji, Master, why don't you talk peace first and happiness after? This is also a good question. But in my opinion, I think firstly it should be happiness. When we don't have happiness, it is not possible to give happiness to the other people. Isn't it? Am I right? When we are poor, we cannot give. Now many world leaders, whenever they give the speech and propaganda, they always talk peace, 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 peace like the noodle. But really in their mind, no peace. Then how can they bring peace to the other people? Isn't it? When we want to water the tree, we have to water the root. We fertilize to the root of the tree. And even that, we must do in action, not only talking. So I feel something I laughing. I feel very funny. If I can talk directly to those leaders, then I say, you are joking. You say peace, but in your mind, no peace and criticism. Then, so I think before we want to do the peace, firstly, everybody, we should have the peace in our mind. And then we build the peace in the family. And then the family have peace, happiness. No, I say, then we should have, you should be happy. And when we have the happiness, then we can share the happiness to the other people. It's okay, yeah. And now you see, it's a very interesting and we can say very funny. The leader, they say peace, peace, happiness, happiness. But really inside they don't have happiness. They only talk peace, but inside they have weapon. You see? when now we are also the victim of information. Whenever we open the radio, newspaper, and they talk happiness, peace. But really, there's no peace. Even speed. So in my opinion, we should together make happiness first and the peace after. When we don't have happiness, there's no peace. And Buddha, he say, tâm bình thế giới bình. Mean, if the mind peace, happiness, and then the world will have peace. You see, I'm many times I told you I'm the victim of the war. I was born in Vietnam during the war and grow up. I went to school midnight. Why? Because the daytime American bombing. When I grow up, at that time they say very big propaganda. We have to struggle to protect Vietnam for the freedom country. For freedom, 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 freedom. Then when I grew up, went to high school, even class 2, 3, always the same slogan. And went up to the class 12 university, I read newspaper in different countries. Oh, I come to know that this is not really for peace, not for the freedom. And I can say American leader at that time, now I do not criticize now. They just utilize Vietnam like a battlefield to test the weapon. Then I joined the peace movement. We struggled very hard. Then at that time, I remember many countries in the world, including India, support Vietnam. Luckily, at last, Vietnam get peace. Then after more than 30 years, we read in the memory diary of the war maker of mastermind of the war Vietnam. What they say? They say it's a very the Vietnam War. This is the biggest mistake for American policy. And you see, and then we say that sorry, many million die. Many million die. Nearly 60,000 Americans died and lost life in Vietnam. Many thousand soldiers of American allies died in Vietnam, Australia, Thailand, Philippines, many another country. Then after Vietnam War, then another war, another conflict, always the same. Peace, 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 but inside no peace. So today we have a little discussion. This I think we should, but what I'm telling you there are many truths. We cannot say truth. Even the food now, international food. This is not food. It's a poisonous. But recognize the food. Yeah, if we say they will sentence us to the court and we don't have enough money to pay the lawyer, and then we will be in jail. So that is not happiness. So let us together, pray together, we find happiness and peace solution. In my opinion, now let us try how to convince everybody should be the happiness maker, peace maker, and then world peace will come. We should not only listen every day the peace on newspaper and happiness on newspaper, particularly now internet. When we open, we say criticism, conflict. Very few new the negative, positive, isn't it? So this is not happiness. I witness. I have been few countries in the Himalayan area. Some villages, they don't have car, they don't have bicycle, but their lives are very happy. I was in Bhutan many times. I see my own eyes. People don't have much facility, but they're very happy. So this is the reason we should think seriously. The Bhutan is the smallest country, and then now the people say they're most happy. That is true. Have you ever been see the send of the troop of the 7-8 dogs together? No. When you are someplace where you see when 6 or 7 dogs playing together, suddenly we give them one bone or some food, then they started fighting. But in Bhutan, no. When I was on the place, about 11 or 12 dogs around me. And when I give the food, then the dogs are eating. The other looking, they're not fighting. This is a very special. This is a very special. Yeah. So I also would like to invite all of you. You should come. One of the countries I love, I respect very much in India. When you go outside, you see many dogs. They're very close, very friendly with us. Cow and animal, bird, very friendly. And even the crowd. Many tourists come to meet me in India. They say, "Oh, Master, why India? So many birds." The crowd and dog go around, no barking. I laughing. I said, because we don't hurt them, we don't disturb them. So they are very friendly to us. Very friendly. Yeah, this I very much like the world leaders should come to India and meditation and see. And we have really, they say, oh, we know. That is true. Poor and rich, every country. But if you come to India, you go to the village. They are poor family, but they are very happy. Very happy, very relaxed. If you don't believe, you come to India, I will check you go. Very relaxed. And we are in advanced country. I don't want to say the name. We have the big car, big house. Even family only 5 members. We have 10 cars. We have 10 generator. We have how air condition. The food we keep so many food in the house, but very stressed, very tension. But there, they don't have generator. And some they don't have electricity, but very happy. So can we say we are more civilized or they are more civilized than us? Yeah, that is the true story. Many things analyze. So now you see in the world, every year they produce many specialist economic, but the economic system is going wrong, many wrong. And they give so many propaganda, or like this, like this, like this. Like epidemic, COVID-19 was born. And they, not sincere, sit together. We find the reason why a epidemic is come out, because there's a conflict. I told you more than 20 years ago, I predict such kind of sickness will happen. And many of my students did not believe. And now happened. And 2 years back, nearly 2 years back, when COVID-19 happened, then I told them not only COVID-19 happened, 20, 21, 22nd, 23rd, it will come. And they asked the reason why the humanity, we do not respect the law of the nature. We do not respect the earth, Mother Earth. We cutting 1,000 hectare land, forest. We destroy the mountain. And when there's no tree, and then panic come. Therefore, I told you, this is not ordinary a kind of sickness virus. That's a warning of unseen hand. So let us pray. The world leader should be meditation and have peace of mind, sit together automatically. So I told you, I spent a lot of time, nearly 2 years, to find good medicine to cure about this kind of virus. I discover. So now those who want to have this kind of medicine, please contact me. We organize the group. And we will make medicine by ourselves. Yeah. But please you keep very discreet. Because some people, some wrong people, they will stolen our formula and they for selling. But for me, free, but certain condition. Firstly, they must go to test, general medical test. Okay. And second one, they should promise to protect my formula. My formula, my medicine, I don't want to call medicine. Before some people suggest me to utilize the vaccine. No. For me, I do not vaccine. I call the Thầy Huyền Diệu hoặc là mật pháp immunity system booster. And this kind of medicine we make by ourselves. More you have peace, more you respect the law of the nature, more good affection the medicine we make by ourselves. Okay? I guarantee, because I test my medicine already. But we should keep very discreet. And the person, for example, now, the person they want to get good result, they should promise everybody to follow my way, should promise. The first one should be honesty, sincerity, that this condition. And they should promise to respect. During they take this kind of medicine, they should not killing any kind of animal. If possible, should be vegetarian during their practice. And they should promise, should not disturb the Mother Earth. And secondly, they should plant 18 trees on the planet. Okay, many. And they should make agreement, they should not disturb the Mother Earth. Then I will disclose my formula. I call immunity formula booster. Okay, later I will discuss you, I will tell you, and if you can make group. So now I would like to invite one of my friends, His Excellency, Ramjit, right? Mindak, have you seen His Excellency? Is it to be His Excellency is there?
Yeah, I just see, but now I don't see it.
It's a wonderful. It's a wonderful. Otherwise, you ring to him.
Yeah.
You see, this is a very interesting, very interesting. We hope the world leader listen to us. Okay, now I would like to Mr. John. Would you like to share some idea about the?
I couldn't hear what you were saying then, Master. Sorry, the internet wasn't very good.
Oh, okay. Yeah. This also impermanent. So we would like to get your idea about happiness and peace.
Okay, interesting that is today's topic. I was watching YouTube yesterday, and an American has been living in Vietnam for 7 years and has had such wonderful experiences as I have. And his secret is to be happy. His secret is just saying hello to everybody. And yes, he exudes the happiness, so everything around him he lifts up, and so he spreads that happiness, and that was interesting. I thought I saw that yesterday on YouTube, and now that's what today's topic is about.
Yes. You see this now let us try to promote it, happiness. But whenever we open the newspaper, suppose 20 news, more than 90% they talk about stress and tension, isn't it? So John, you are the English teacher. If possible, let us try to bring out the magazine.
Yes.
Every month or every 3 months, we talk about positive thing, not negative thing. Yeah, so many wonderful things.
Good idea.
We talk about, yeah. Now this is my idea since about 10 years already. But I was, I could not find up to now the copywriter. So many wonderful things. Then in our life, so many good things for the happiness. Regarding to now, my problem is electricity. Minh Thiệt, con gắn này kia con gửi cái gắn này kia. Con gắn điện cho gần hết điện này. You listen to me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, and then that's magazine. We talk about food, about the art of living, the happiness of the family, the relation between parent and children, between human people and human being and human being, and relation to the people from different countries, the relation between animal and human being. It's okay. Yeah, we don't talk about killing. We don't talk about the accident. Accident, running over the man, and the man attack the bicycle or motorcycle. You see, very hectic. Hả? Không có điện ở dưới kia này, con cắm đằng kia kìa. Hay là con dưới kia, ở dưới. Con cắm đằng đó. Now we are here, you see. We are in Lumini, sometimes no electricity 3-4 days, but we have no tension. no electricity, we light the candle. No air condition, we are happy. You see, when I was in Lumini, here is a very interesting. In America, in Vietnam, when you have money, you can go supermarket, you can buy many things. But here you have money, you can look money, but you cannot buy many things before no many things. How can we buy? We are only looking dollar. But we are happy. Yeah. This is so even many people complain about COVID-19, isn't it? But I'm very grateful. I'm very much thankful to good writing. Due to the COVID-19 happened, lockdown, I cannot go anywhere. I stay one place for meditation. I read many books. I see the sky clean, no aeroplane, no noise. And the river, many fish come. Yeah. And I find that many some family, they married together more than 20 years. This is the longest time they can live together. So we simply gratefulness, Corona-19. Okay, yeah. So Pramyanip Mahathero, Secretary, General Secretary, the International Buddhist Community in Bodh Gaya. I would like you share some idea about happiness and peace. And you also, very luckily, you are leaving the place where Buddha get enlightenment. So please, Pranyadip. You open the microphone. It's a very interesting topic.
Dev, your microphone is still off.
Okay.
Yes, okay.
Avijjaye onadha ayang sansara. The treasure of the universe is covered by the ignorance. Ignorance is the main enemy of the human society of the beings. And ignorance have the 8 branch, Lobha, Dvesa, and Moha. And also have the Kamachanda, Vyapad, Thinamid, Adhat Kokit, and Vichikissa. This is the 8 ignorance, the part of the ignorance. Ignorance, we can say, the huge rock of the cave, there the people are living, and there have the totally dark. We can't imagine about the light, but some from the hole, some light is coming and falling on somebody. So they feel the very, very happiness. So anyhow, somebody are managed to see the light. So then their life becomes very, very happy. So this ignorance is the main cause of all the unhappiness. So to remove, destroy, dispel, eradication of ignorance. So Buddha said in the Mangal Sutra is very, very good. If you want to irrigate, without dispel, without remove the ignorance, we can't get the happiness. So first, the need Mata Pitu Pathanam, Buddha said in the Mangal Sutra, Mata Pitu Pathan, to serve the mother and father. Mother and father are the source where we came. So first, the teacher, we are under the guidance of the mother and father. So this guidance, we are getting the very best opportunity under the mother and father, and we have to follow. We have to follow the rule and regulation, and have to be understand, have to be learn. So whatever the mother and father are the teaching. So this is the first the step from where we are getting the teachings from the mother and father. Mother and father, we have to serve very heartily to the mother and father, because they gave us the birth, and we are getting all the facility. We came in this beautiful world due to him. So the gratefulness always should be the mother and father. Whatever they are teaching, this is the best opportunity. But sometimes this ignorance, even the mother and father giving the very best teaching, but the ignorance, they close our mind, and we're not hearing. We not follow the mother and father, the guidance. At last, the results comes very bad in our life. Not happiness, can't be the happiness, because the best opportunity we already left. So first, the teachings, the mother and father, we have to follow, because they are the very responsible. They are the person who always want to develop us, and they are who know about the ignorance. So slowly, all the parts of the ignorance, they are telling us, and if are the very good follower of the mother and father, so after that, slowly we start to get the happiness. So the first I am saying the Kama Chanda. Men are the binding with the group of the sensual world, and this the sensual world can't give us the way to go near the light. So the first and mother and father, they teach how to overcome on this the ignorance, part of the ignorance. So this is the best opportunity for us to get the happiness. So always have to be obedient to the mother and father. Second are the teacher from primary school to the university. This also have the best opportunity. So if we will lose, some students are very intelligent. They are hearing the teachers, the guidance, and in his own life they get the success. But some are not hearing. It means the ignorance catch him very well. So though they are not hearing, last they are the suffering. A lot of the suffering coming in their life, we can't imagine. So third the opportunity we are getting in this world is spiritual teacher. Spiritual teacher last, they are the showing the way of the Nibbana, where have the nothing, any the poverty, nothing, any happiness. So this is the third opportunity we are getting. So this, the third opportunity also, the ignorance, they try to not go near the knowledge, near the insight, near the enlightenment. That time also they will disturb. So but good student, always they are following the way of their master, spiritual teacher. So this Kamachand, Vyapad, Hinamid, or Dhatakokrit, Vichikissa are the main enemy, and this due to that we can't get the happiness. So already I am saying the Kamachand, group of the sensual desire. This the sensual desire always take us in the wrong way. And the second is the Vyapad. Vyapad means enemy, jealous. Enemy and jealous, they always are thinking, oh, he is not good, I am the good. Whatever he doing, that I will do the opposite. Always the mind is full of the hatred. So that people also can't be the happy. That people also can't be, that society also can't be the happy. So if we want to happy, then have to be leave the Kamachanda, sensual world, and also the hatred. This have to be leave. Third, Thinamid. Thina means the body laziness. Body laziness is coming when we don't know the quantity of the food, whatever the food I eating. The quantity of the food is very, very necessary. If we don't know the quantity of the food, then the body and this world is very, very bad for us. We can't get anything. Always we become the sick, and the gastric problem, this problem, that problem. Buddha also, when the monks are coming to him, he was asking, Bhojanam chamatayu, you know the quantity of the food for your body? Then the monk also said, yes, Bhante, I know the quantity of the food. So quantity of the food is very, very essential. When we know the quantity of the food, we can win half of the world. Who don't know the quantity of the food, so their life, I think, the very, very bad, serious, useless, and so many diseases will come to destroy him. And second is the the mind laziness coming. Buddha said, Ananda asked, what is the best life? Ananda asked the Buddha, what is the best life? Buddha said, best life is to go to the good society. Go to the good society, go to the in the temple, monk association, and hearing, and live there. Here they are cleaning and giving the water to the tree, and whatever the monk are giving the preaching, have to follow. So this is the best midday when we go to the good society and hearing the speech and the Dhamma talk from our monks, our minds become the very, very settled. Otherwise, this myth will go to the here and there and the very in the wrong direction. So thin myth is the third. We have to dispel the thin myth also. And the fourth is the adhatya kokirte. Adhatya means excitement. When we are not following the three, then the excitement comes in our life. This doing, that doing, what have to do in the future. Their life becomes the unsettlement. After that, the repenting. I have nothing. I have no house, I have no food. I am very poor. And always they will blame to others. They not blame to himself, because due to this the kama chanda and the hatred and the thin mid, we follow that. So due to that, I'm not getting anything, not got anything. But still they will blame to others. So this is the fourth and the reason the people are not getting the happiness. If they will eradicate this all the fourth, then they will be soon they will get the happiness. And the fifth is the vicikitsa. Vicikitsa means the doubt. Doubt is the fifth, but this also have the very great obstacle of the human society. You lock the door, you go to the near market, after that you remember maybe I lock door or not. Again you will come to check the door, maybe I lock or not. So this vicikitsa always giving the wrong way to the society. So this is the five hindrance. This the five hindrance is the if we are society are following, society they are getting the unhappiness. If the five hindrance, it will go to the good society and good living people, and it will irrigate all this the five obstacle. Then soon all the happiness is coming to our life. So Buddha said that Mata Pitu Upadhanam, to serve the mother and father very heartily, because they take us in this world and they gave all the strength and the love, all with the heartily they gave us for our development. Mata Pitu Upadhanam Puttadara Sangha, and had to protect the son and the wife and other things. Anakulaja Kabanda, whatever have they against of the race, our the ancestor, that have to not done. So against this is the Kamachand, Vyapad, Thinimid, Adhatakokit, Vicikitsa. It is against of our ancestors. So this all we have not to do, and have to be care the nature. Be born from the nature, and nature is with us. I am from the nature. So if we will be happy, so also have to keep the happy to the nature. Suppose the plant of the rose, we are planting, I am planting. So suppose I am planting, maybe you planting, and anyone planting. Just planting. Before planting, we are digging the earth, and after that, keeping the branch of the rose, maybe the seed, and after that, waiting. After sometimes the leaf are coming, and after that, slowly it rising, and after that. When the slowly come, after that we are feeling also the happiness. And once a day that all the leaves came and all the branches are coming and full of the tree, and the rose are start to come blowing in the branch. So that time we can see how much the pleasure we are getting. But our neighbor comes to our house, and he did not do anything. Just I am doing, I did. But whatever the pleasure I am getting, the same pleasure he also getting. Same pleasure he also getting when he comes over the house, and so the good the garden and other things also, they will go, oh, wow. Very they feel happy. So so if we will keep our myself happy, that happiness will go to the others also. So but this nature, this mind, we have to always keep, because we born from the nature. So self also caring, and also the nature also have to be care. Ayam tithati. Ayang sansara, this is dependent on each others. So if you will not care, the nature will also give the punishment. Like this now in the our Guruji said so very, very, very important the point. Whatever he have done, he achieved the knowledge. That his knowledge is always the very on the depend on the experience. So at last, I want to say, this is the ignorance. Ignorance is the great. Ignorance is the biggest the enemy of the human society. So we have to be eradicate. We have to dispel. We have to remove the ignorance. Without the removal of ignorance, we can't get the happiness. This is the key note of the the Buddha said, have to be dispel the ignorance. So at last, I want to say, so we all the human society are born here for the happiness. But if we will not follow the happiness, the point, how can take the happiness in our life? So it is not easy to get the happiness. So better to eradicate, better to remove, better to dispel the ignorance. Whatever the ignorance is coming in our life, that have to be removed. So I am very, very happy. Just every Sunday, our Guruji organized this meeting. So maybe no problem in 1 hour time, but still some point we can give in the meeting. So again, if I have any wrong, so please excuse me, and please excuse my Guruji. And after that, again, I'm now stopping my speech. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Reverend Ranyadip. Your observation is correct. It's correct. But I want to tell you this, because humanities, many people, they do not respect the law of the nature. Ignorant. Ignorance. Before we invention the car, automobile, riding horse, and after when they have many thousand horse, they say pollution. So now we try to discover, to invent it, the Thai technology, the machine. Now too much is car, and million times more pollution than the horse animal, isn't it? And there's not much happiness. Yeah. So let us try together how we save the planet, the earth, by action, not talking. Now many conference, international conference, they talk about environment, and talking, spend $1 million. And after that say agreement. After signing and the conference, nothing happened. They continue polluted the earth, destroy the earth, Mother Earth. And they are so very complicated. So even that you have mentioned about the suggestion of the Buddha, we have to respect the parent. But now our society, consumer society, is so much developed. And the children do not respect the parent. So many wrong things, many trouble in society. Yeah, and the Buddha suggests we should take care of the family. We should mutual respect. But some family, they only one way respect. One, what we could call low one way. And someone, the woman, only ask the respect from husband, but they don't respect the husband. So how can we have the happiness? And some family, the husband ask the wife have to respect, but they don't respect, the husband don't respect. Then how can, so in society and anywhere we have to mutual respect. If we have mutual respect, then the happiness comes. Many things. I think this topic, we should have many sessions to discuss and to find good solution and bring the peace. But firstly, we have to build, I repeat again, we have to build the peace in individual first. If we don't have happiness, how can we give the happiness to other people? As I told you, if we are poor, how can we give? How we can help to the other people? So now I would like to invite Professor Pedia, Vice Chancellor, Lumini Buddhist University. You can share some idea about how we can find peace, happiness, and peace. Please.
Namaste.
Namaste, yes.
Thank you very much. Very important topic you have brought for discussion, because all the problem of earth, all the problem of people, I should say, not of the earth, because earth doesn't have problem or no problem. But it's people who perceive, who feel, and who wish for problem or no problem. Thank you very much. First of all, I think Buddha, his quest was for getting out of problem, to be happy, to be free from anything that makes him unhappy or sad. And so he came up with his discovery of the problems, discovery of dukkha that brings unhappiness. And he also said every unhappiness, every dukkha has a cause. And of course, there is way to get out of that cause, and we can reach that state where we can be free from unhappiness. I think this is well represented by Buddha's discourse on Dhammapada, the first chapter of Dhammapada, the first stanza and the second stanza, where Buddha pointed out that it is all in our mind. If we do from happy mind, compassionate mind, and mind that looks for goodwill for all, then of course happiness will follow like shadow. No one can take it away when there is a light. And I very much agree with Venerable Mahathero that it is lack of knowledge, lack of understanding, and that lack of light that makes us unhappy. That is one part. Then also, of course, other part is that if we do anything with our unhappy mind, and if we do anything with bad idea, bad thinking, then of course, or problem, trouble, and therefore unhappiness will follow us like wheel behind the cart pulled by the horse. Of course, even the cars, they have the engine at the front and the wheels at the back. So the engines, our engine is bad. If our thinking is bad, then unhappiness will follow. I think happiness and unhappiness has two very important dimensions. The external part and the internal. Internal dimension, yes, we have full control. We can have. It is not that we can have full control of the internal aspect. External aspect, some we can influence, but not all. And that is the part, I think, which is important for us to learn and to address. For example, internal part, anything unfulfilled brings pain. If I feel I should have a car and I cannot have a car, that makes me unhappy. If I feel I need to be in this position and I cannot attain that position, I will be unhappy. So this is the internal part. I want to eat this thing. I want to go for dinner. I want to go for here, or I want to go for there, or whatever. You make a wish, and you cannot fulfill the wish. I think this part, realizing this part, and following Buddha's teachings, as Nachero rightly pointed out, being aware, understanding deeply, and self-disciplining to make that kind of wishes that makes you unhappy will ensure or will help you to be positioned in happiness. So this is, I think, one message that we have to everybody. Then, of course, there are external aspect which you have also illustrated, that somebody makes you unhappy. Somebody, when he or she comes to your place, you don't like the way he or she talks. You don't like the way he or she thinks. And you don't like the way he or she always thinks about you and wants to make you out of or place you or do whatever he or she thinks in her own way. And you don't like that person. You don't like her thinking, his thinking. But that person is somehow connected to you and you cannot avoid that person. That makes you unhappy. The very memory of that person coming near to you makes you unhappy. And of course, the opposite of that, somebody you love very much, you want to be with that person. Like the two lovers, one love for other, one wish for other to be with together. And somehow you cannot be together. That also makes you unhappy. How to ensure that this kind of things doesn't come? I think Buddha also has thought about this, the way to avoid these things, but calls for a deeper understanding and practice. Of course, many of the people who have followed Buddha's Panchashila and Buddha's Astamarga, they have come to that stage, I believe. But for lay people like us, that unhappiness, how to avoid that unhappiness is unhappiness, happiness and unhappiness. There are another aspect, the third aspect, and that third aspect is context, the situation. Hello? Namaste. Yes, I'll call you back. Yeah, I'm in a meeting. Yeah. The interconnectedness, it simply happens moment to moment. And it's so difficult to avoid that kind of moment and circumstance. And that is the dynamics of our living brings you to a kind of particular situation where this kind of happiness or unhappiness simply comes almost unavoidable way. One cause of that is a comparison. One cause of that is comparison, and one cause of that is not total gyan, not total knowledge, not fully knowledgeable, some knowledge, but it is not enough to resolve. Because you use that knowledge, and by using that knowledge, you start to judge what is right and what is not right, and you have to feel that this one is not doing right, this one is doing right, but then this who is doing right is not considered right, and this who is not doing right is very insistent, and he has a group who says, yes, he is doing right. And you are mentally connected to that. You may not be physically connected, but you are mentally connected to that, and suddenly you feel yes, you feel the trouble. I think this relates to the world politics that is going on. In the world, there are people who say, okay, if you do this like this, if you join us, then you will be happy. And other person saying, okay, this is really satanic. You shouldn't be with that, or you shouldn't do that. I think either we have to shut off from all these kind of process, but once we connect to that kind of discourses, then also that brings us happiness. But also, Buddha had given us ways to find that knowledge. Even Buddha has given those knowledge. And until we get all the knowledge, we will not be free from trouble and unhappiness. To get that knowledge, of course, you have to engage with that knowledge. You have to practice, not only engage, but also practice the knowledge. Then only you can be free from the problem. And that is why the concept of nirvana, the space where you can resolve all these unhappiness, then only you will be free from unhappiness. But until you reach nirvana, then of course you have to bear the unhappy phenomena, unhappy moment, your own unhappiness from inside. But then how to come to that stage, how to be able to reach that stage, it's a big challenge. However, Buddha also has given way out for that. And what Buddha gave that way out? That is Dhamma. Buddha has given Dhamma, list of things that will help you in this stage of free from unhappiness. Now, Dhamma, when we talk about Dhamma, then it is also related to the system of Sangha, association with people who share Dhamma, who share Buddha's teachings. So by coming together, although one may not have full knowledge of how to free from a problem, how to free from a situation of trouble, but by coming together and having someone lead the Sangha, then from that person's help, we can be free from problem. So Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, three aspects Buddha has given. These are very invaluable teachings of Buddha, and therefore it is called three jewels. Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, the three jewels. You will not be having all the knowledge to free from problem. If you have somebody in Sangha who has that knowledge, and if you commit to your Dharma, then with the help of the person who knows about the problem in the Sangha and following the Dharma, you can address that problem. So that way, I think the ways are there given by Buddha. But again, Buddha at his end part, before Nirvana, Nirvana, all the bhikkhus were very worried that now Buddha is passing away, what to do? Ananda Bhante, before Ananda, the closest of Buddha, who was attending Buddha all the time, he asked Buddha, now Buddha, now after your passing away, what are you going to do? We won't have your leadership, we won't have your knowledge and the blessing. How can we live? And Buddha at the time told, you have to tell yourself, people who you have to be your own light. You have to bring your own knowledge. You always have to do that. But of course, Sangha is there. So I have given you knowledge. I have information. I have given you ways, method, how to deal with the problems of samsara, how to remain untouched by the problems of samsara. So you have to follow that. But to follow that, you have to understand, you have to work hard. But it depends on yourself. That was the last word of Buddha. From that teachings, I think we have to understand that the first and foremost thing is that we must wish or we must endeavor for to dukkha, whatever way we can. But remembering all the time that each individual people come with one's own mindset, one's own circumstances, one's own desires, one's own problem that way. So we have to understand this and we have to work together, work collectively. Before closing my before closing my saying, I would like to point out the importance of the thing Dr. Lam has been saying from the very beginning of today's session, that we must save art, we must save nature. And it's very important because we are inbuilt as a human being, as a living being, not only human being, as a living being, we are kind. We are made to be happy when the base of our living is in peace and prosperous. The base of our living is, of course, the Mother Earth, the nature. We can recall our moment when we are so taken away by our sadness, by our difficult situation. What we tend to do, oh, we should go to park, maybe spend some time in park, meditate, have fresh air, exercise, get away from all the circumstances that you are in, get away from office, get away from home, get away from business. Be yourself with nature. That is what universally all over the world people like to do. That means we love art. And we must say that. We feel happy when we hear the sounds of bird. Although that bird, what that bird is saying, we don't know. But yet, the bird sounds makes a very beautiful music for us, like beautiful music. Even when we are seeing lions and tigers in the forest, not near us, but if they are rejoicing their stay in the forest, we feel happy. We feel happy even when we are seeing wolves and foxes. We see happy even when we are seeing crocodiles or even otherwise disgusting insects in the forest. We enjoy seeing them. We enjoy seeing them unless and until they are cause of trouble for us. That means the nature, the creation of nature is great. We are part of that nature. It has all causes of happiness and unhappiness. It can bring happiness and unhappiness. But to be happy or not happy is with yourself, as Mahaprajna has said. Lastly, it is up to us, of course, with our own knowledge, with our own composition, we can make ourselves happy. I remember my old brother, elder brother, he's very old, but he had very interestingly pointed out to me when we were discussing about this happiness and unhappiness. But he's very old to me. So he said, why? You know, two kinds of people can experience happiness. Third kind, never happiness. What are two kinds? One is the person who doesn't think, who doesn't take learning or anything. Very simplistic, dumb person in a way. He can sometimes feel happiness because he is hungry, he has good food, happy. He has no money and he got some money and he is happy for that moment. And those people who are very learned, very respected, and who has understood on the unhappiness, they can also be happy. They know what is causing unhappiness, what may cause unhappiness, so stay away or they overcome that unhappiness mindset and they make their mindset happiness. So whatever situation comes, that person can understand that particular situation from the happiness point of view, interpret it and live that happily. That kind of person also be happy. But the person in the middle is always at the top. You don't have money, but you have money. But you know that this money is not going to last for long, so you are not happy. You always remain in a kind of flux. That was very interesting piece of his comment. But same in the line of Buddha's teaching. That unhappiness starts from your mind. Taking happiness starts from your mind. Mano puvangama dhamma mano settha mano maya manasache padukkena bhasati va karoti to dukkhamanmeti sakkam va bhavata padam mano maya mano puvangama dhamma mano settha mano maya manasache pasanyena bhasati va karoti to dukkhamanmeti ayavo anfine. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor, Vice Chancellor. Now I would like Professor Nyingma Sakpa. Can you share some your idea?
Bhantiji, thank you very much.
Yes.
For giving me this opportunity. Sanjata Chandrasamba Thamjala Chalsa Shingyapsu Cho. Having paid homage to Buddha and Bodhisattva, respected organizer Bhantiji and all the respected previous speaker and all participants, good morning. And today's topic is really very relevant and necessary, essential topic, especially in 21st century, happiness and peace. As the previous speaker have already talked much about these, I do not have actually much to say, but as a student of Buddhism, I probably point out some of the important teachings that have already given by our previous teachers, lecturers. In doing so, actually, when we learn Buddhist philosophy or let's say Buddhist teachings, it's a very vast and profound. We do not actually cannot bring all of them together here, but I can see that today the audience is mostly householder and lay people here. So I would like to share only a few points and not wasting much time here. Because one thing is quite comprehensible, that we can see that happiness is much pursued by individual and society everywhere in the world. So they find that we are after all after the happiness. We are following happiness. It's a different matter whether we get it or not, but at the same time we are actually pursuing it. But according to Buddhism, long-lasting happiness does not come from external material source or resources, for example. And then some of the misunderstanding that I can pinpoint is that normally in modern world, for example, people collect a lot of external material in search of happiness, in search of long-lasting happiness or satisfactions. But Buddhism actually says that external resources or sources, comfort actually do not bring us happiness, but just the contrary. So I don't have to point out much more than this. And then even research and our own experience show that the increment in our income and external materials are not accompanied by increment in our happiness, but the opposite. In this point, I would like to give you an example in Japan. Of course, Japan is, in Japan, there are a lot of Buddhists, maybe majority of people in Japan are Buddhist, but over the last few decades, reports show that the suicide record in Japan is the highest in the world. Japan is not only the developed countries in Asia, but it's also the very refined and developed countries all over the world when we compare with other countries. But at the same time, when we say developed countries, they do not lack any external facility. They have all these external facilities like car, cooler, motorbike, everything they wish. They have all this, but at the same time, they are not so happy, so they commit suicide. But I think this is my personal view. Probably they have some misunderstanding between recognizing what happiness actually is, or maybe they fail to apply the principle of happiness in their life. So And then if somebody asks, for example, then what is the method of Buddhism in that point? Then Buddhism actually says, or Buddhist method is to be happy is contentment in oneself and less desire. I mean, more contentment or satisfaction, more satisfaction and less desire. This is the, I think this is the source of happiness, so to say. The more desire you have, the more problem you will have. That is quite some sort of universal truth. It is quite true. I mean, if we examine Buddha's teaching, it's based on universal truth. When we say that, the more desire you have, the more problem you will have, we can experience it ourselves. Today we have $100, but we are not satisfied with that and we want $200. And similarly, when we have $200, you wish for $300 and then the desire goes and goes and goes and it does not have any limit, because we normally, in Buddhism, it is taught that desire is boundless. Therefore, when the desire is boundless, suffering is boundless. But our life is very certain. We maybe survive for a few years or decades, then we will die. But at the same time, within this short period of time, we are pursuing this unlimited desire and happiness. So I think there we can understand, we should understand the Buddhist method that self-contentment or self-satisfactions and having less desire is really important in order to have happy life if we wish. So that is one of the points that I would like to point out. And then sometime in Buddhist texts, we find the lines emphasizing that indulging in desirable object is like drinking salty water. That more, that is the more you drink, more you feel thirst. If you feel thirst, for example, if you have to drink pure water, but if you happen to drink salty water, then no matter how much you drink, but you will you never appease your thirst, but keep drinking. And then finally it will cause you diarrhea or maybe some problem. It will invite problem, of course. So similarly, in Buddhist texts, we find, it is clear that we find that indulging in the external resources without limit is like drinking salty water. So we have to, I think about that. And then another important thing or point that I would like to offer is whatever activities you begin with too much excitement, too much attachment, anger, jealousy, and pride never bring any satisfaction, but it will only bring dissatisfaction and unhappiness. So that means the absence of attachment, anger, jealousy, and pride is actually the source of happiness. I say absence of attachment, absence of anger, absence of jealousy, absence of pride. Actually, there are so many other emotional disturbance, but at least important thing is when you do not have these kind of disturbing emotions, of course, happiness will naturally follow. Happiness is not pleasure. I think one of the important misunderstanding we have been dealing with is that we normally misunderstand pleasure into happiness. Actually, pleasure is not happiness, because this is my understanding. All animals, even insects, day and night search for that pleasure and satisfactions. And unfortunately, we have been doing the same. We human beings, despite we have survived the possessions of our own rationality, we have been doing what other non-human animals have been doing. They are searching for a certain pleasure. There, I think, from human perspective, they are not searching happiness, long-lasting happiness especially. They are actually searching under the influence of certain physical requirement or needs. They are always night and day. For example, if you observe the movement of ants on the ground, we find they are very busy because they are looking for certain requirements, certain facilities in order to fulfill their certain pleasure. But I think humans should not be doing that. We have rationality. Using that rationality or intuitive knowledge, we should actually pursue long-lasting happiness. And of course, Buddhism also offer the way how we pursue happiness. So actually, less desire means more happiness, actually. I think this is a very important point, because desire is boundless. If we set a boundary to the desire, then it becomes less, and less desire actually means more happiness. If we just connect or apply this with the Buddha's own teachings, Four Noble Truths, suffering comes from desire, karma, and disturbing emotions, for example. Buddha actually said that there is suffering. Actually, Buddha didn't create any suffering. He just introduced us the presence of suffering in us, out of us, everywhere there is suffering. And his activity didn't stop there, but he also pinpointed that suffering has this source. So actually, it is very important to recognize the source rather than suffering. So what is the source of the suffering? And he pointed out that the source of the suffering is ourselves. Actually, it is our own karma, driven by our disturbing emotions. If you are eradicate, if you actually are able to eradicate these disturbing emotions and able to stop these continued karma, then that means you will have only happiness, no more problem. So without spending much time, I would like to offer another very important point to all of you, especially the lay Buddhists who join here, and those who are less familiar with Buddhism, I guess, I just assume, is that teach your children to be generous and happy, not rich. Because in previous teachings, we asked that, we listened, respected speaker were talking that these days, children are not paying any attention to parents, but at the same time, there are many news, bad news that children, when they are grown up, they kill parents for a very small amounts of money or for their own desire, because actually parents are responsible in that case. Why? Because they teach or they taught their children to be rich, not to be happy. This is really very important, especially from a household point of view. As a monk, we don't have any of these. We don't have this problem. We are born and we understand there is problems. But now those lay Buddhists or anybody should actually remember that you should teach your children to be generous and happy. If you teach your children generous to be happy and to be generous and happy, of course they will really repay. They will treat you generously. They will treat you happily, and then they will provide you happiness. Of course, that is how the karma works. Actually, that's how they will respect their parents. So, in order to, especially if the parents expect any respect or attention from your children, then you have to act now, teaching your children to be happy rather than rich. Why? The reason is, if you teach your children to be rich, in richness, there is no boundary. Even if the whole universe is your own, then you have, but universe has its own limit, but your desire does not. So you want more and more. We learn so many history, and even if you turn some of the pages of encyclopedia, the past is full of blood, disrespect, and flood, very violence. Dieu, the organizer, just mentioned about the incident in what happened in Vietnam. Actually, Vietnam was divided into two sections, and American actually tested their weapons, newly found weapons in Vietnam, and killed thousands of people. What they get? And now American and these British people are still talking about human right, peace in universe, and then woman right. But at the same time, actually, they are selling more mass destructive weapon to other countries. They are producing more chemically very, it's dangerous to people. If you happen to somewhere in the forest of Germany or somewhere in other European countries, you have a very beautiful landscape, but you have to be very careful to walk to other way than the set of path. Otherwise, because the forest is actually full of mine that was remained there unexploded since World War II. But for example, in Nepal, we do not have actually so beautiful like that landscape in the Germany or Switzerland. But at the same time, our forest here is at least quite few. We do not have any of this unexploded mine here. I think this is the difference, that developed nation are talking about peace and prosperity and human right and woman right. And at the same time, they are really very hypocritical because they sell a lot of mass destructive weapons, produce a lot of chemical products which actually ruin our health, jeopardize the environment. So I think we have to keep this in mind. So the important thing is, one thing I would like to emphasize that we should teach our children to be happy and generous rather than rich. So the solution I would like to offer here is, we should be truthful what we say or what we do, and we do not expect too much from anything or anyone at any time, because expectation always bring us dissatisfactions and suffering and the treasure. And another important solutions I may probably mention here is keep distant yourself from fear and hope and fear. Okay, in life, as a human being, as a simple civilian, if you have fear and if you have hope and fear, if you are accompanied by hope and fear, you will never feel any satisfactions. You are always under depressions. You are always under stress, and you don't have the environment to treat or talk to any people in a very peaceful way. So I request everybody, or you can spread this news, that we should ourselves distant from hope and fear in our life in order to be happy. And respect and be kind to all is what Buddhism actually talks. This is what actually the spiritual part of all the religion, I think, is same. But at the same time, there is certain very salient feature in Buddhism which differentiate itself from other, is that Buddhism, the teaching of Buddha, is very liberal, very transformative, and it is democratic actually, because the reason is Buddha aimed to liberate us from suffering, from bondage. Otherwise, if his aim was to find another principle, philosophical principle, another metaphysical principle, there were other philosophical stuff before Buddha, like Sankhya, Mimamsa, and many others. But his aim was to liberate us from suffering and provide us the long-lasting happiness. That is what we call nirvana or liberation. Actually, it should be called freedom, because when we understand reality as they are, or as it is, we find freedom. So everybody enjoy freedom. Nobody actually enjoy torture and bondage, but at the same time, we create our own bondage. We are engaged ourselves in the past and in disturbing emotions. So I think it is really important to respect everybody and to all living beings. And at the same time, we should also understand this sectarian differences. Oh, there is Hindu, this is Islam, this is Christianity, and they have different philosophical views. So I'm a Buddhist, I should be superior. We have to give up this. Of course, relatively Buddhist is actually, I'm not saying this just as a Buddhist, but as a researchers, I say quite proudly that actually Buddhism is better than other religions, because as I have already mentioned the reasons. It is democratic, liberal, and the philosophy that provided by Buddhists, the teachings of the Buddha is transformative. If you follow according to Buddha's teachings, you will see your transformation from negative to positive, from bondage to liberations, from bondage to freedom. Everybody respects freedom. Everybody wants to be free. And try to see and understand everyone through the eyes of humanity rather than caste, color, religion, and region. Now we say, oh, this is African, black, and this is Chinese, Corona, and this is American, and they see all these differentiate. And even in, for example, country like Nepal, we normally differentiate. We tend to differentiate people on the basis of their caste, creed, and their religions. Oh, these are Hindu, and these are Buddhist. Actually, I think it's really, really very important to see everybody in equal eyes, and that equal eyes as a human being. And finally, it comes to the equal eyes of living being. I think this is really important as a Buddhist, as a teaching, as a student of Buddhism. I learn a lot of things from Buddhism, and I aim to share everything I know to the benefits of all living beings, and especially human being, because if human being actually become or accept the positive way, he become actually very superpower and then helpful and beneficial to everybody. But for example, there are many incidents when the human being in the form of a very human being become devil. So I think without spending much time, there might be many more speakers. I would like to stop here. And at the same time, Bhanteji normally organize many teachings, but this kind of very helpful teaching program. This is really important, especially in these pandemic situations. And then we know this pandemic situation is a byproduct of our own action, especially those developed countries. We should remember that. I think countries like Bhutan and Nepal, they are actually quite innocent. We do not have this kind of mass destructing weapon here. We do not have very big industrial area here. We are not so responsible about creating these environmental problems. Developed countries should now think, but somehow I think this is a different topic. But I apologize that in many this kind of discussions, I couldn't take part because of some other engagement. But today I was able to do this because we do not have much work to do today. So finally, I would like to thank you, Bhanteji from Betam Temple. Very thank you. And then your effort to bring peace and happiness in the world is really appreciative. And I wish you a long life. Thank you very much, Bhanteji.
Thank you very much, Ningpa, Shakpa, Lamaji. It's a very interesting, but the time is limited. Let us try to promote it. You see now they promote the car, the bicycle, many conveniences. As Dr. Ningpa Shakpa, he's mentioned now people when they have the children, priority education, how to become rich. But the riches, when they come, they are also not happy. So we should think seriously, starting before rich, should be real happiness. This is very important. Very important. Yeah. So it's a very interesting, but the times are very limited. We have only 1 hour, but now nearly 2 hours. So it's interesting. So let us think seriously together. We work and how to bring real peace. Yeah, real peace. Then I believe that Lumbini, where Buddha was born, this is holy places. And the Vice Chancellor, Lumbini Buddhist University, try to bring more students, not only in Nepal, throughout the world. And I wish, if my life is still good, I very much like to work with you. You see, Lumbini 40 years ago, nobody Lumbini developed now. But with the conception and gratefulness to the border, we work hard. So Lumbini become international community place. World spiritual place. So now, let us together. At least we should have 1 or 2 hours together. And then you bring all the foreign monastery founder together. We have drink together, food together, and then we try to promote and to protect and develop Lumbini in the right way. Otherwise, I also something I worry much about Lumbini. If Lumbini government from now don't take care carefully, after 20 years, it will be polluted. It will be polluted. That is the problem. I'm the first foreigner starting first monastery in Lumbini at that time. Very nice. Now you have seen there's a certain problem. So all of us, let us think carefully and how to develop Lumbini right way, and Lumbini should be a good example for the happiness in the world. Particularly when the Buddhist people come here, they would like to stay here. So it's also a good thing. What is my wishes? Okay, now thank you very much for joining us, and on my best wishes to you and family. And let us hope next week, if there's no earthquake, and then we do it again. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Lam.